Is this thing on? Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Avant 3 here on the FTOG server with me, TechnoJock, where I have about finished all the automation. The portal is done. You should now be familiar with our fairly regular setup of a precision item dropper hidden behind this chiseled wood here, which drops onto this fast vector plate, which you will remember probably from our mob farm days. So not only does it work quite nicely with mobs, it works perfectly well with items dropped onto it, so they will be propelled through the portal and immediately picked up by one of the item collector thingies that we are also fairly familiar with, this ranged collector, and that is whitelisted for our Dragonstone, Pixie Dust, Elementium and Dreamwood. So that's very nice there. And the other thing that I automated was we obviously need a fairly regular supply of mana steel, mana pearls, mana diamonds and such like. And again we've got a precision item dropper here, and again it's linked to the phantom face below here. And this time it is a vacuum hopper, or vacuum chest rather, and that is filtered for the mana things that we are going to be making here. I did originally have one of the item collectors, the range collectors here, but it was interfering with the runic altar setup as well. So the runic altar and that have both got the vacuum chests rather than the ranged collectors, just because of the way they operate. Talking of the runic altar, I've shifted the mana pool up to the top here, so it looks a little bit more interesting. I don't know. I like it. And I've used 4 mana spreaders, and they are all pointing at that one thing, so it just clears the edge of that. And so things crafted on this are ridiculously quick now. And then the last thing was really the mana generation stuff here. So the mana pool here is being detected, or the level is being detected by this comparator, and it's one of the sticky ones, so it's stuck onto the roof, and it is detecting a fill level of 13 out of 15 thanks to this redstone lantern. Oh, that was our flowers going again. Excellent. So the level of 13 there, so all going nicely. I've just realised why some of those flowers aren't getting picked up, and it's because that's in the middle, so that can't get pushed. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, yeah, so full level of 13, and it's just that, so there's a little bit left in there. So if these things happen to place some cakes just as before it goes over the level of 13, there's going to be plenty of room in these mana pools for the last little bit of mana coming up from the flowers, so that's all good. The redstone transmitter transmits down to the redstone receiver down here, and the signal deactivates the placers. So all of these placers are actually full up of cake, and there's the buffer chest down there as well. I did have it so it was turning off the export cable from refined storage, but figured it would probably be better to turn off the placers, and that way we've got a little bit of buffer of cakes there as well. So that's all that, and that's it for the automation of Britannia, other than one last thing. There's one last little bit of automation left to do, and then one last little quality of life thing to do, and that's this done. The last automation I want to do though is the filling of the Petal Apothecary. I'm not going to automate the recipes for this because there's so little flowers that we actually need to make. It's quicker for me to just manually make them than it ever would be to automate this thing. So I'm going to put a mechanical user beneath here, and I'm going to set it to use item on block, and if we test that, I'm going to set that to upper left hand slot only as well, and I'm going to fill up everything other than the upper left hand slot with cobblestone. Grab that back up, and I'm going to put a bucket in there. In fact, we'll sort that in a second. The other bit, we're going to have another mechanical user, and we're taking this eternal water block that we were using before. I'm going to place that there, and I'm going to put the other mechanical user right there, and I can use yet a wrench to turn that so it faces the water block, like so. Again, I'm going to go and do this, and that is again going to be, I can't remember if it's use. No, it must be activate block. Yeah, there we go, and it filled up the water bucket. Perfect. That's good. Now let's go back up here and check with this one. It's going to be use item. I don't think it is. No, it's not using the item on the block. Okay, what's the next one? Activate block with item. I think it's that. Yeah, there we go. Look, it's emptying and then filling. If I have a look, emptying and then filling. Cool, that's fine. That's fine. We can let it do that for the moment. In fact, I'm actually going to stop it from doing that. So we've now got filled buckets and empty buckets now. We want one of these conduits like that. I am going to set this one to whitelist full water buckets. Ignore metadata, and that can be always active. And then I'm going to do this one is going to extract, take the cake out, whitelist, yep, whitelist empty buckets, always active, so that should be fine. So this one's, yeah, that should be good. And now if we set this to in out, this to in out, I think that should be fine. So that one, yeah, the cobblestone is staying where it is, the cobblestone is staying where it is. How are we doing? Yep. Let's pop that in there. Excellent. So it filled that up. It immediately took out the empty water bucket, put it into here where it filled up, and then went back in here. So this is ready to get filled the next time it empties. So if I take one of these and empty that, immediately it gets filled back up. Cool. Happy with that. Now what I can do is I can put that one in there, so that's ready. And now if I do that, that's it. Oh. Ah. There we go. Okay, having more than one bucket in there was just going to jigger things up. So we'll just leave it as it is, cover that back up, and we're good. That's us ready to rock. That is all of our automation. Ooh, bit frame ratey there. What's going on? Something misbehaving itself by the looks of things. And what we want to do is we want to look in our Lexica Botania again. And I want a particular flower, because now we've got one last thing, functional flora, and I want the Solignolia, however you want to pronounce it. Anyway, this thing stops your ring of magnetization from working. It does, not only does it allow, or does it stop your ring from picking up things that are in the area of effect of the flower, but it also stops your ring from working whilst being in the effect, so the items out with it stops your ring from picking up stuff. So what we want is Redstone Route, mystical brown petals, mystical blue, and mystical red petals. Well, we should be able to do that over here. So we want Redstone Route, and let's have a look at the Solig flower. I'm going to want to make the floating ones as well. So let's have a look. We want Redstone Route, please. I'm just going to make one at the moment because I don't know how big an area this thing will do? Let's have a look. Petals. Should have, actually. So it was 2 brown, red, and what, blue? Yeah, blue. Do I have a blue? I've got 2 blue. Cool. There we go. And I'll need some sort of seed. That'll do. There we go. Let's go over here then. And go that. And 1, and there we go. 1 solid onia. And I want to have that. Let's put it down and see how big an area this covers with our monocle. Okay, so it's not that big an area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of these for each bit. So I'm going to have one there. That'll cover that, no bother. Yep. I could maybe afford to have that in between. That covers both of those, okay. And then I could maybe have one. Come back here. One here. And that would cover the terrasteel, and it would cover the portal as well. So let's just make one more of those. So we need a redstone route like that, and we need seed of some description, and we need petals. So I need, yep, that'll make 2 more, but we need 1 of them. We need a blue one and 2 more brown ones. Cool, that's that. So let's come over here and go that. And there we go. And we can put that one there. Was going to cover it, wasn't it? That looks good. And now I can safely put my Britannia magnet ring back on and not interfere with any of the stuff that's going on here. So if we have a look and see, we don't have any fire runes left. Let's make a couple fire runes and we'll see. Oh, it was making something in there, and now they're coming over here. All the bits are here. Look how quickly that's working as well. And perfect. Everything worked nicely. My magnet ring was on the entire time. Nothing got interfered with over here or over here. And now, if we do what, elementium, let's order up just 1 elementium at the moment. Hey, that was stuff going through, and there goes through the portal. And if we have a look at our elementium, we've got 2 elementium now. But in particular, what I really want to have a look at the moment is this. Let's have a look at terrasteel. We have got 17 terrasteel because I made a bunch the other day. Because now we've got quite a lot of mana. This thing will draw, this spark will draw from that pool up there, the pool over there. Wow, noisy. And it will pull from all of these 4 pools and our buffer. I have made quite a reasonable sized buffer of mana, so we've got 10 mana pools there. These sparks are all set up with recessive sparks on them. So basically, if there's another mana pool with a spark on it, and the spark is not augmented with a recessive spark, then, or an isolated spark, then it will push the mana from here into that mana pool. Up here, all of the sparks up here, other than this one, have an augment on them for dominant spark. You'll see the little sort of almost Japanese looking symbol there. The dominant sparks will pull mana from any other mana pool with a spark on it that's not also a dominant or isolated. So these ones will fill up from the mana pools from the above the flowers or the buffer, and the mana pool, the mana pools above the flowers will push out to the buffer ones there, and these ones up here as well. So if we order up some terrasteel, and say I'm going to order up, I'm just going to order another 10. There we go. I'm going to order 10 terrasteel, and let's watch this thing go. Any moment now. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff just been thrown over here. Obviously we didn't have very much in the way of mana steel. And there we go, it's done. Now we can hear everything kicking into life below, but look how quickly that crafts a mana steel. And you can see the mana pouring in from the other mana pools it's drawing in. And my magnet ring is not affecting this. And we can hear the level in the pools has obviously dropped sufficiently. These, yep, these have dropped down, and our signal has turned off, and these are now placing cake quite happily. So we are making a lot of terrasteel very, very quickly. These mana pools are all still full because it's still filling up from our buffer below. So how many terrasteel do we have now? 25, 26, one more. And that should be us. So the automation working perfectly, our mana level limiter thing working perfectly, all of our sparks networked nicely, and we now have a bunch of terrasteel. And the reason I wanted terrasteel is because I want to make some terrasteel armor. So, oh, how do I make terrasteel armor? Or do I need to make the mana steel version first? And that's terrasteel helmet. So, oh, right, okay, I need a bunch of stuff. Well, let's get going on that. So, first things first, terrasteel chestplate or terrasteel. Okay, so we need the mana steel version of it all. Plus, we need runes of winter and all that sort of stuff. So how are we doing for that? We've got runes of winter, cool. And that's for the boots. This one needs rune of autumn. We've got a rune of autumn. Good, good. Rune of summer, and rune of spring. Okay, so we're good for those. We need 8 sticks as well. Living wood twigs, rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and oops, miscounted a little bit there. And we need the mana steel version of stuff. So we're going to need mana steel. Well, that's also easy to get now. So I'm just going to order up a stack because why not? Oh, and look, because we used up some wood making the sticks, on comes this. Oh, I'm loving all of this. This is working perfectly. Look at all of that going nicely. Doing a stack of that. Should be finished in just a, there we go, in a moment. So we need to go mana steel helmet, boom, done. Mana steel chestplate, boom, done. The leggings, done. Boots, done. Cool. So 1 terrasteel helmet, 1 terrasteel chestplate. We can do that and that. That is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. And now there's one last thing that I am wanting to check out really before we go much further, and it is this phantom ink. So if I do that and get some mana pearls, because I'm clearly out of them as well, and I just need 4 just now. If I listen carefully, maybe I can hear them going, but there we go. Yep. So we can do like that. Why is that not doing? Have I... missing bottles. Cool. No glass. If only I could auto-craft this stuff. Let's do a stack of glass. That's going to do. Need bottles. Oh, it makes 4 if I do that anyway, so I only really need 1 glass bottle recipe. And I can do this. So 4 phantom ink. Like that. And I can craft it like this. Like that. Like that. And like that. Perfect. And now I'm going to take off all of this armor and put this armor on, and it is invisible. So now I'm fully armored, but you can't see it all. So I am going to go and have to obviously enchant this stuff up, but I've got cool armor now, but you can see my cool skin that much better. So I think that wraps us up for just now. Yeah, I can wave and my armor doesn't do something silly. You can see my cool woad and my kilt and my sporran. I am a happy bunny. So yeah, that's us. We're pretty much done with Botania for the moment. We might be able to use it for some other stuff, but in terms of setting it up, I think we're pretty good. Might want to do some Gaia fights though. But in any case, that's us done with Botania just now. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've been doing all this automation stuff. If you've got any questions, just ask. I'm here to be asked. More than happy to help you out if you're wanting to know how to do some of the stuff I've been doing. And of course, until the next time, ensure that you have a funds. Bye-bye.